When it comes to pursuing a firefighter career and going through the firefighter testing process, there's a lot of reasons why candidates fail. Some points off the top of my head being the firefighter testing process in general is no joke. It's highly competitive. When it comes to the opportunities, they're very limited. They come and go, through the months and years. You have thousands of candidates competing for a handful of spots at a time. And then when it comes to competing and earning your spot, you're going to be competing against candidates that's been around and been involved and that has, connections in the fire service and that may have family members that are fire members within the service, kind of increasing their odds of earning that spot over you. Overall, the firefighter testing process is only getting more competitive. So with that being said, I truly feel like the number one reason why candidates fail when it comes to the firefighter testing process is because of lack of preparation. So in this video, I'm going to be covering the 5 categories that I feel like candidates really lack in regards to their preparation. So when I bring up the topic of lack of preparation, I'm talking about a lack of preparation in regards of the testing process. They're not properly preparing to excel and succeed when it comes to their actual testing opportunity. So the 5 categories I'm going to be discussing with you is, being informed and signing up for notifications, job application process, setting up for the CPAT and any other physical requirement that candidates will endure, preparing themselves for the interview. And one of the biggest ones is building their network. So when it comes to being informed, you'd be surprised at how many candidates don't really know what's going on. They don't know when people are testing. They don't know when fire departments are having events, whether that's a charity or union event. They don't know if they can go do ride-alongs. They don't know what courses or programs they have to partake in to earn the certifications to become eligible to test. All these different things. There's just a lack of being informed. So what I mean by this is to be successful, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're getting online and you're searching your specific fire departments you want to work for. See what kind of events they come up on the calendar. See if they have opportunities that you can go and network and show firefighters what you have to offer. When it comes to their testing process, see if they have a job notification that you can sign up for, putting your email in. So then whenever they do hire, they'll shoot out an email saying, hey, we're getting ready to hire on this date. So you're highly informed so you don't miss those opportunities. That's one of the biggest aspects of the lack of preparation when it comes to being informed. If a candidate doesn't know what's going on, how are they going to be ready to prepare for an opportunity when it presents itself? Don't be that candidate. As for the second topic, when it comes to the job application, you'd be surprised at how many candidates fail at this area, whether they lack the documentation, they didn't fill out their application in time, they didn't fill the application out properly, or they lied on their application, or whatever the case is. You don't want to be that candidate that does that, okay? Perfect example. When I was going into the fire service and kind of learning, the ropes, became a cadet, trying to get involved, there was actually a group of firefighters that got hired the class before me. And the group that got hired, they had a bunch of buddies that were actually, cadets within our specific organization that didn't even have an opportunity to test. They were well informed. They knew when the testing, when the job application opened, and they had all their documentations and stuff ready to go. When the application opened, they waited till the next morning to fill it out and submit it. Little did they know there wasn't a specific time window that they had to fill out the application. What happened is that application period only accepted, 200, 250 candidates. So if they weren't the first ones to submit it, they didn't even have an opportunity. So there was a bunch of cadets within our specific organization that didn't even have an opportunity to test. So that's a perfect example of just making sure that you're highly prepared, okay? So just kind of be prepared for the worst when it comes to the job application. Know when your fire departments are, hiring when it comes to signing up for, job notifications and all those things. Make sure you have all your documentations, your social, your background, your history, like all that stuff, your ID. Make sure you have all that stuff ready to go. A lot of websites out there that when it comes to signing up for firefighter jobs, like governmentjobs.com, you can kind of pre-fill everything so it's kind of ready to go for yourself. So make sure you look into that. Make sure you have everything lined up and you're ready to go so you have your spot. So when it comes to the physical preparation, like for the CPAT or your BIDL test, burst test, or your pre-academy, whatever the case is, there's a lot of candidates out there that fail at preparing. They don't put their fitness and training regimen and their nutrition as a priority in their life. They wait till the last minute when they're like, oh, I got accepted, with this department, so I'm going to take my CPAT, so I got to start preparing. It's like, no, if you want to pursue a fire career, that's the day you really focus in on your training and your nutrition and your overall health, making sure you're doing everything in your power to fill your body with what it needs and prepare your body for how it needs to prepare so it can perform at its best for you. There's a lot of candidates that do not do that, and you don't want to be that candidate. Also, when it comes to, these physical tests and these physical requirements, a lot of candidates out there won't even research in advance. Like, they won't find out what the CPAT's about. What events do they need to prepare for? Or, what is a burst test? Or what is a pre-academy? They won't even research that information. Don't be that candidate. Make sure that, when you want to test for Department A, you go on their website, you figure out, what's their test process like, what kind of physical requirements they have. Get on the phone with some firefighters or go meet those firefighters and see what's the best way to prepare for that specific testing process so you're successful. Don't be that candidate that waits to the last minute, because I'm telling you right now, it'll kick your butt. Perfect example. Our process was extremely unique. We had the CPAD, the interview, the written, and we didn't stop there. We went through a pre-academy. So it's like a 3-day just butt kicker down at our fire academy that they kind of evaluated our teamwork, our mental, toughness, our physical toughness, and just kind of see if we can do the job of a firefighter. It was probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. No lie. So with that being said, there was actually a really good guy, super nice, great attitude, tested well in all aspects. He made it there, but he was not prepared physically. And he literally told us at the end of our 3-day period, he goes, man, I was not ready for this. Like, I did not prepare for this. So he pretty much shot himself in the foot, because most of us did everything in our power well in advance when it came to our physical fitness. So we were ready, to kind of crush those challenges. And he had such a hard time and he wasn't successful. Little do we know, our group got hired. They ended up retesting him. So he went around the second time to be the next group of candidates that came. He made it all the way through the process again. Went to that practical again and was not ready again. I can't tell you how often things like that happen, okay? When it comes to pursuing a firefighter career, don't be that candidate that waits, okay? Because you never know when your opportunity is going to present itself. It can happen in the blink of an eye, and you want to make sure that you're ready 100% to perform at your best, especially when it comes to the physical sides. I mean, that's what we do as firefighters. So when it comes to the category of a firefighter interview, for those of you who don't know, the interview is probably the most challenging for most candidates out there. It is the biggest separator when it comes to candidates. So you can tell very early what candidates have properly prepared for their interview versus the candidates that didn't, okay? So long story short, when it comes to candidates failing, it's just the lack of preparation. They're not figuring out what a firefighter interview entails, how to structure their stories, and they're relating, their stories to the fire service and kind of how to formulate it in a firefighter structure. It's not like your normal interview. It's very unique in every way. Also, when it comes to their preparation, they're not getting in front of people and practicing their, public speaking skills and speaking in front of a group, expressing themselves. That's a big factor when it comes to the firefighter testing process, because that's what our interview is. You have group interviews, you have, round robin multi-panel interviews, you have a single panel interview where you're interviewing in front of, 3 to 5 firefighters. Like, that can be very overwhelming if, you're not training yourself to perform in that atmosphere. So getting out and going on ride-alongs and doing mock orals with fire departments and getting with other candidates and running mock orals and asking each other questions. And the big thing is just being very diligent on a daily basis of building your craft and building your interview skills. So asking yourself questions, seeing what stories fit what question best. How do you relate your story to your specific fire organization, and how to structure your interview to where it flows and you're not all over the place going off in tangents. Like, all those things are major factors, okay? Really take this to heart. The firefighter interview is the biggest separator when it comes to fire candidates, okay? You can crush the CPAT, the written exam, all aspects, right? You can be awesome, but if you can't get it in an interview and excel, good luck. The hard truth is we have 20 to 30 minutes as firefighters to evaluate the candidate sitting across from us to ensure that they are the proper fit for our organization. Remember, we as firefighters are taking in total strangers for the most part and hoping that they're going to be an asset to the organization and be a good roommate and a good brother and sister for the next 25 plus years. That's a third of our lives that we're spending with these individuals that are sitting across from the table for us. So that 20 to 30 minutes, or whatever the case is, however long your duration is extremely important. So you want to do everything in your power to have your interview ready to go, because you have that small window to convince us that you are the right fit. It's that important. So the last category of networking is extremely important, okay? You'd be surprised at how many candidates won't get out there and get involved, okay? I need to put a disclaimer out there. You don't necessarily have to get out there and network. There's been candidates in the past that literally just came in to test, obviously did well enough and convinced enough people to make it through. That's very rare. I'm just here to tell you that, okay? You want to be that candidate that gets out there and network, okay? Go and find out if you can do a ride along at your specific fire organization. That way you can get down there, rub elbows with those firefighters, show them what you have to offer, see what the culture's like, the day-to-day operations are like, what's expected of new firefighters within their organization. And you can just grab a wealth of knowledge and information from those firefighters during your time on those ride alongs. It's that important. Also, when it comes to other candidates, getting out there and meeting other candidates, you'd be surprised at what you can learn from other candidates. They may have strengths in areas that you have weaknesses in, and vice versa. So you can build off of one another and help each other succeed. The crazy thing is, we as candidates are competing for those jobs, right? We're competing against each other. But how the fire servers work is literally we build each other up, go compete, and we all help each other reach our goal. You would think that like, oh, why would I help, that candidate when I'm competing for the same spot? That's not the case. That's not how we do things. A lot of people that are successful in the firefighter testing process are the individuals that are out there helping people, reaching the helping hand, getting help from other candidates and kind of just doing that, building each other and helping each other grow. So really take that to heart and understand that that's extremely important. Also, when it comes to networking is, like I told you earlier, get involved. Find out when departments have charity or union events, or they have any specific needs when it comes to help. Get out there and, show your face, show them what you're about, show them that you're willing to put your boots on the ground so you can rightfully earn your spot within that organization. It's too huge. And the last thing I want to leave you with when it comes to networking, don't be that candidate that only shows up when testing's happening. So what I mean by that is, me as a firefighter in the fire service, when it comes to our testing process, we have hundreds of candidates, calling us, coming to ride along, trying to do everything in their power to kind of get their foot in the door. But then when we're not testing, it's like a ghost town. You have a very few candidates that still kind of stay around and kind of build their network and do what they got to do to prepare themselves. You want to be that candidate that stays around even when it's a ghost town, even when we're not testing, right? If you truly want to be within a specific organization, show them that. And that's a perfect time to, because we know as firefighters, the real candidates that really want it, right? The ones that are willing to put in the effort and work. So overall, when it comes to networking, just make sure that you truly take pride in it, okay? Put genuine effort in really getting out there and getting involved, because it's truly going to help you. You're going to get a lot more firefighters in your corner. You're going to have a lot more support. So when you show up to that interview, or you show up to that written exam or physical or whatever the case is, we as firefighters are going to look at you and go, hey, there goes John. We know him. That's huge, because remember what I told you, we have a very small window to evaluate, in a sense, total strangers, and welcome into our family as roommates for the next 25 years. So if we know you, you've been around, we know who you are as a person, we know how you carry yourself, we know your work ethic, all that's going to do is help us evaluate you because we know you. All in all, I truly believe that a lack of preparation is the biggest factor when it comes to candidates not being successful in the testing process. You don't want to be that candidate that lacks preparation, okay? Do everything in your power to set yourself up for the day you have the opportunity to test. You're going to be 100% ready to crush it and rightfully earn your spot in the fire service. With all that being said, continue to work hard, stay consistent, and I'll catch you in the next one. Good luck, future firefighter.